This is Jonathan Agger, here for Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Bill Haney, father and trainer of Devin Haney, who's getting ready for his rematch with George Kambosos, October 15th here in the US, October 16th in Australia, ESPN and Sky Sports in the UK. Bill, how are you feeling?
Hey man, thank you for having me on the show.
No problem, great to have you on again. Again, we go with George Kambosos for your son. First of all, let's go back to the last fight. Can you just sort of reflect on the week and sort of what was it like to see Devin do it after, I guess, everything that happened?
I mean, absolutely. It's a complete amazing, and we're very grateful for what happened on June 4th in Australia. What can I say, man? We're back at it again on October the 16th at Rod Laver Arena, and Devin is prepared. We're expecting a hungry George Kambosos. We're expecting George to come in and do some things that are awkward and unconventional, and we'll be prepared.
What did you learn from George Kambosos from the first fight?
Well, it's kind of hard to learn anything from him because he didn't do what we thought that he was going to do. He kind of let Devin dictate the pace, so I think and I know that every coach is talking to him is to try to upset and disrupt Devin's rhythm, but we got something for that as well.
Obviously, the fight was more one-sided, I guess, than people expected. People thought it may have been slightly closer, but are you expecting a similar kind of fight, or do you think Devin can win by stoppage?
Devin will win the fight. We go into it to win. We go into it to not get hurt, to administer as much punishment on the fighter as we can possibly administer, right? And that's what he plans on doing. We will whip his ass, and we will whip his ass convincingly. Whether or not he's going to stand up for the whole 12 and take it like he did before, or whether he's going to go out 1, 2, or 3, or the ref is going to stop it, or his trainer or whatever. But we plan on getting out on him and staying out on him.
I'm guessing, though, you're not overlooking him at all because, he's got nothing to lose going into this fight, and he had nothing to lose against Lopez, and he won the fight.
No, absolutely. Listen, and a hungry fighter with nothing to lose is a dangerous fighter, right? So, we're expecting George to come in and to come prepared and give it his all, you know what I mean? And we'll make any adjustment on that fight night, but to actually prepare for the same George would be underestimating.
So I wanted to pick up on something that I know Devin was unhappy about, which was the Ring magazine put out their pound-for-pound ratings, and he wasn't on the list. Now, obviously, that kind of stuff is very subjective. Everyone has their own opinion on pound-for-pound, but what was your reaction given undisputed champion, unbeaten? What was your reaction?
Well, I mean, that's just a list that's made up of fighters and writers and, you know what I mean, astutes of the game. No different than any other list that's made up by another section or another magazine or another blog or podcast or whatever. Of course, we listen and hear every opinion, but opinions are different. There's so many different opinions, and no number is better than number one, whether it's 10, 9, 11, 8, you know what I mean? So we know we have our work cut out for us, and we continue just to keep our nose down and keep grinding.
Do you feel that before the first fight your son was avoided by fighters, or I mean, I know fighters fight anyone, but sometimes they want to not fight people because they have certain styles, etc. But do you think now he's got all the belts, people want to fight him more?
You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to make the biggest and the best fights happen. You know what I'm saying? And that's the fights that we want, the ones that the people want, not just necessarily fighters that are calling them out, right? That might be ranked 160 or, you know what I'm saying, something like that, right? We look to make the biggest and the best fights happen, and we take that very serious. What the people say,
And obviously, like you said, you're not going to be looking past the fight, but a lot of people think that Vasyl Lomachenko could be next. What do you think of that fight, Devin against Lomachenko?
Well, that's a great fight. I think that Vasyl Lomachenko is a great fighter. You know what I mean? I just believe that there's something special about Dev, and when we get through with George Kambosos, we'll see.
And what is the biggest fight out there beyond George Kambosos, or apart from George Kambosos? Is it maybe Gervonta Davis?
I mean, you said his name, so that made you think of that fight. Is that the one that you think is a big fight?
Well, I guess people look at him and think he's possibly one of the most marketable, and he sold out arenas and things like that.
Right. So I'm very conscientious of what the people and the voice of the people. And yes, that's one of the names that we hear as well. And you know, we would oblige them. Inshallah, God, that means God willing, that we handle our business on with George Kambosos October the 16th.
Just finally, Bill, there's a lot of rumours, a lot of talk that Terence Crawford and Errol Spence have agreed to fight in November. What do you think of that fight?
I think it's a great fight for the fans. It's a fight that's so close, meaning 1A and 1B, that it's something that I would look forward to as a fan. But picking that fight or betting on that fight, that's something I'd leave to somebody that's more, that has a crystal ball that they can see more than I can, that they can see into more than I can see into.
Bill, thanks for talking to Pro Boxing fans.